Hi everyone, Meteorologist Emery here in the Fox 19 First Alert Streaming Center here for our Sunday edition of our 19atSIX Weekend Weather Show, available wherever you stream, including on the 24/7 Weather Streaming Channel, on the Fox 19 News and First Alert Weather app, fox19.com, and of course on Facebook, both the Fox 19 Facebook page as well as my Facebook page at Emery WX. So we're going to get going here in just a moment. In fact, I feel like I did not publish this on my Facebook page. Give me just a second. Let me get that going. All right. So again, we are live wherever you stream. Do want to start off with this before we dive into the forecast. Want to extend my congratulations to former Fox 19 meteorologist Ashley Smith, who just got engaged with another former coworker here at Fox 19, Ethan Goldsmith. He was a production assistant behind the scenes, and both great friends of mine, both proud to still stay in touch with them and very happy for them as they're now getting engaged. So big congrats to them. But we'll go ahead and move on here with the forecast. We'll go ahead and start here with the fact that we are looking at maybe a few flurries, maybe some areas of drizzle overnight tonight. And I want to get that now in your forecast first. So going ahead into tonight, temperatures are going to fall down into the low to mid 20s for a majority of the Fox 19 Now viewing area. In Cincinnati, we'll call it 25 degrees. And then we go into Monday, not much in the way of changes with temperatures, only up to around 28 degrees. And you notice there's not much of a temperature trend. It kind of stays stagnant for the bulk of the day. In that 7-day forecast, I just updated these numbers, and you can see we are looking at more light snow showers coming in on Tuesday, and accumulations do look to be pretty meager at best for Tuesday. Then we get really cold heading into the middle of the work week. The morning low Wednesday of 1, followed by an afternoon high of 21. Wednesday night into Thursday, 10. Thursday afternoon, though, breezy with temperatures rising up into the mid-30s. Friday, 42, and then we're looking at rain on Saturday, and then getting colder enough to see some light snow showers heading into our Sunday. So kind of a sporadic 7-day forecast. Obviously, a lot of changes compared to the pattern we've currently been in, but we are going to be looking at kind of these temperature swings to the point where we do go above freezing, and yes, we do see rain as opposed to snow, something we've been dealing with here over the last several precipitation opportunities we've been dealt with here in the Ohio Valley. So again, that is your 7-day forecast. I have updated the 14-day forecast. We will go beyond the 14-day forecast here coming up in a few minutes. But I want to remind you again, if you have any comments or questions, I'll try to chime in and try to respond to those on our Fox 19 Facebook page. Take a few views of the tri-state. It's always nice to see some of those tower cameras we have throughout the tri-state area. I'd love it if we had more to spread around to show other spots that we don't often get to see, but most of these are in Cincinnati downtown area. So we'll begin with this one. This is our Fox 19 tower camera located in South Fairmount off of Queen City Boulevard, and it's aiming towards downtown Cincinnati. And of course, you can still see the snow-topped buildings scattered throughout the city, and all is nice and quiet. Taking a look right now at our Newport Levee camera, same kind of view, but from a different angle from the Newport Levee. And again, nice and quiet. You do see a blanket of cloud cover, though, rolling on in. Our Turfway Park camera also looks nice and quiet. And then lastly, our Mount Auburn camera, which it takes a second for it to load, but once it loads, you'll see the beautiful view looking towards Walnut Hills. Excuse me, it's Mount Auburn camera looking towards Walnut Hills. Had a brain dud there for a second, but again, cloudy skies are out there here this evening, or mostly cloudy conditions, and we will be looking at the potential for maybe a little bit of areas of drizzle, maybe even light flurries possible coming in overnight tonight. We'll show that here on radar in just a second as this system wants to load. All right. We'll switch it here to radar and satellite. Yeah, so it's not a really strong system. In fact, we talked about this yesterday if you watched us last night on Fox 19 News after the basketball game. It's It's a weak cold front, but the cold front's going to have just enough juice to it to maybe bring us a lot of low-level moisture to the point where we could see some drizzle, maybe a few flurries. But this is not going to be impactful. In fact, all that it is just a cold front that's going to provide and bring us colder conditions, hence the name cold front. But this is about where the frontal system is, somewhere right in here. So it's making its way here, and as it does, it's going to have a little bit of low-level moisture with it to give us, again, maybe a few areas of freezing drizzle or flurries. Now, I know the term freezing drizzle might sound a little scary. I wouldn't be scared. This does not look like a situation where it's going to create a big old glaze of ice. We're not seeing that in the model data. We're not really seeing that with the limited moisture this frontal system carries with it. It's just enough to be noticeable. And I'll say it best, if we do see anything out of this, and in fact, this model actually dried out a lot more since we showed it to you yesterday. But overnight tonight, if anything, as you're driving in to work or school on Monday morning, and yes, I do think we're going to have school or work Monday morning, I would say the most you're probably going to see is maybe the tops of trees, maybe has a little bit of that extra frosty look to it with ice, maybe rime ice accumulating a little bit on the tops of trees. But other than that, I don't foresee any situations where we need to be concerned or cause any impacts or issues for the Monday morning drive. But we'll continue on this model here. Monday morning, this model is actually getting even drier compared to what we had discussed yesterday. And Monday during the day, we are just looking at mostly cloudy conditions, cold conditions, and then Tuesday morning, pretty darn cold. And Tuesday, at least through the mid-morning hours, will be dry, but Tuesday afternoon, we're looking at light snow showers moving into the region. We'll show you that in the forecast model data coming up in a minute, but I do want to take a look at those Facebook comments and questions before we get going. Rhoda says, hi. Melinda says, do I cover Pennsboro, West Virginia? I do not. I'm trying to think of our sister stations out that way who might. We only cover Southwest Ohio, Northern Kentucky, and Southeast Indiana. West Virginia, I would say maybe go to WSAZ, our sister station in Huntington, West Virginia. Got a couple friends who work out that way. I don't know exactly where Pennsboro is, though I do know some of West Virginia geography. I'm not familiar with that community. So, Melinda, I would say that this is not a good resource. I would try to help you out, but it's a little bit out of our viewing area range for me to really know whatever questions you might have. So, apologies, Melinda. This is the time of year where social media can be great and not be so great. Got a few comments asking about social media. Samantha says, keep seeing stuff on social media about another storm coming in that's being watched. Rebecca also adds, what about snowstorm for the 20th through the 24th? Right now, it doesn't look like it starts off as snow for us. It starts off as rain. This is the part where it can be a little frustrating as a meteorologist because there's going to be the social media accounts who prey upon people who don't like snow or want to scare them, and that's not why I'm in this business. But there are people out there who are making social media posts, oh my gosh, look at this model, and it's 10 days out. It's the 12th. We still got more than 8 days away till the 20th. That's MLK Day. And then after that, it gets even farther out. There is a system moving through the region. I will tell you that. That's something that confidence is moderate with. However, when it comes to precipitation, I'm less, I would say, if you're optimistic for snow, I'm not very optimistic with this for us. Because I was looking at a couple of different models, and they've been consistent with bringing us warmer weather going into that weekend, and here it is, weekend of MLK Day. So this is the 17th of January. Look at that. A lot of rain. The low pressure system in mind or in question with these Facebook posts, it's way down here. So it's down here, bringing in rain with it into the Tennessee, Southeast, Carolinas, into the Ohio Valley. We'll play this forward. More rain going into Saturday. You can see here, drier air does work in. Now, I will say it's going to get colder behind this system. So the 19th and 20th, it does get colder. But look what happens here. So this is Sunday, January 19th, and you can see there is some snow. If it's going to be cold enough, we're going to have a bit of moisture, yes. It does not look like a snowstorm right now. I would not be worried about this. Right now, this is just looking like maybe some snow showers in the back end of this low pressure system. So we're already getting the cold air coming through, so this is moisture having to battle against drier air. So yes, we'll see some snow shower activity, it looks like, on the 19th and perhaps MLK Day. But otherwise, though, we are not looking at snowstorms right now. It's just, for one thing, it's way too early. There's a system that is going to bring us precipitation. There's been discussions about, hey, will it move closer to us? Will it move farther away from us? And this is the part of meteorology that a lot of people get tripped up on, is that things are going to change because the system in question is not even in North America yet. It's off in the ocean. It's way, way, way away. And there's limited data. As you get closer to these events, you're going to see changes in that data. And right now, the data has been consistent at least enough to suggest that we're looking at just rain on Saturday, and then maybe some light snow showers on Sunday. And then we're looking at an area of high pressure at least over top of us on the 21st and 22nd of January. So the following Tuesday and Wednesday. Talk about that in the 14-day forecast coming up here in a little bit. But this far out, if someone's trying to tell you we've got a snowstorm or we've got some major winter weather impacts, then come to us, ask us. Because whoever's out there on social media trying to stir the pot, if you will, they're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for attention. I would say, if anything, Sunday, you might need to keep a close eye on maybe some slick spots because of the rain and the big colder conditions. Right now, the snow shower activity, that far out, it does not look impressive 8 days out. As we get closer, things get a lot more refined, and it still doesn't look that impressive. So, at least with regards for us. Now, areas further north, sure. But right now for us, at least through MLK Day, I'm not looking at any issues with regards to snowstorms, quote unquote. So, rest assured right now, nothing to worry about. Of course, if anything does change, I'll let you know. But right now, I'm not concerned. Molly says, hello, Ethan. Wow, the sky colors this morning and evening was beautiful. Hopefully you had a good Sunday. Yeah, I can't complain. If I did, it wouldn't help. Stephanie asking, will this affect the river rising, the warmer conditions? Yeah, it will rise a little bit, but I haven't seen any updates as for it to be something that's critical or something that's crucial to watch. Of course, as meteorologists, we'll monitor that here at Fox 19, but right now I'm not seeing any kind of threats for the moment. If anything does change, of course, we will let you know. But right now, I'm not seeing any issues for the time being with those river levels. But of course, with the snowpack and the rain coming in on Saturday, it's a good question, Stephanie. It does bear watching, particularly Saturday going into MLK Day on Monday. So something we'll be monitoring for sure. So while we're already on this forecast graphic, let's just go ahead and jump forward just because somebody did ask through the 24th. And this is where questions do begin to pop up. But this far out, there's a lot of unknowns. And you can see here, January 22nd, this model ends then. But there is a system that is trying to bring in some winter weather further south from us. Obviously, that can change even more than what we discussed with the system on Saturday and Sunday. So right now, that far out, I can't even tell you if we're going to see snow showers or dry conditions for certainty because that's 10 days out. But I will say is that we do have some chances of some precipitation in the region. I'll show the 14-day forecast in a minute. This has been a conversation that we get lost in the weeds too often, I think, here when it comes to social meteorologists, what I call them, people who are amateurs who don't have a meteorology background and like the attention that social media can bring. I'll be honest, social media, I like to use it to inform, but I'm not all about the big posts. That's not why I do this job. I do it for sharing information. But anyway, case in point is that sometimes people will be too focused on those big events that people are trying to circle and throw out there that they're going to miss other events, like Tuesday, for example. Now, Tuesday, I'm not seeing it to be a first alert weather day or anything like that. I'm not seeing this to be a major impact, nothing like Sunday, Monday last weekend or Friday here in the Tri-State. But I do see Tuesday having snow showers moving in. Now, this model, the model's been going back and forth on this. It's kind of hard to really depict it. But I do see light snow showers moving in Tuesday, midday, and afternoon, and it could bring us some minor accumulations. In fact, let me go ahead and jump into, oops, that's rain. We don't want to jump into that. Let's jump into our snow graphic. All right, here we go. So this is by Tuesday evening. It's less than an inch, nothing too crazy, but there could be some very light accumulations Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Now, if we're going to ask, no, I don't see this being a school delay or cancellation issue or concern. I just see this as more of a, hey, if you're traveling Tuesday afternoon, heads up. Very light snow coming down. There could be a slick spot or two, but I don't foresee this being a widespread major issue. So with that in mind, we'll show you the 7-day forecast because, again, people are getting too caught up on the week of MLK Day with the weather, and they're not focusing on this. And that is, once it loads, maybe a few flurries tomorrow morning, maybe a few light snow showers Tuesday afternoon, and then brutally cold. So Wednesday morning, the low is 1. Wind chill factors or feels like temperatures are going to be below 0. I would not be surprised if the Weather Service might issue a cold weather advisory. They've already been discussing that potential, given that there could be dangerously cold conditions Wednesday morning. So before we even get into all of that over there, we've got to focus on these 2 days. Not looking at major accumulations. In fact, I'm looking at less than an inch on Tuesday. But it's enough to maybe cause a couple of slick spots here and there. Nothing more than that, though. But then our focus is the cold air, of course, Wednesday. In fact, that's probably the biggest focus here in the 7-day forecast. Wednesday, the morning low of 1, high of 21. Then we go into the end of the week, the latter half of the week. We got a big jump up in temperature. So Thursday, we've got breezy conditions. That's going to bring in that warm air from the south and west. So bumping up from 10 to 35, that's a big jump. Then we go into Friday, we're up to 42, and then that low pressure system moves in Friday night, bringing us rain Friday night, as well as going into Saturday. Saturday's high is 41 degrees, and of course Sunday we get a lot colder with light snow showers right now. It does not look like anything heavy. We're going to be in the back end of the low. It does not look like anything we've seen in terms of Sunday or Monday. And I do understand people see snow and they get a little bit tense because of recency bias. They look back at Sunday and Monday, get a little shocked. I understand. But I want to really assure you that this is nothing that looks like anything like we saw on Sunday or Monday. Very different system, very different setup, and I'm not going to try to hype anything up for you. It's not my job. That's not what I do. So that's the 7-day forecast. Let's go ahead and dive into beyond the 7-day forecast here. That way you can see what we've got here. So MLK Day, we've got a high of 19 degrees. Tuesday, the 21st, we got a high of 16 degrees, mostly cloudy. We begin to see temperatures slowly rising, going into the mid to upper 20s and low 30s. And then, as I mentioned a little bit ago, we do begin to see an unsettled pattern try to shape up in the Ohio Valley. It's just a matter of where. And this far out, all I can tell you is is there precipitation chances, and is it going to be enough to warrant me putting an icon on there? And right now it looks like yes. So looking at flurry chances or light snow showers, the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. And with that far out, that will change. Because as we get closer, we'll be able to figure out, is the high pressure going to stay a little bit further east, or I should say move further west or go further east, things like that. So right now, our concerns in this 14-day forecast really is the really cold air we've got coming up on Wednesday, really cold air coming up going into the first couple of days of the shorter work week for the holiday of MLK Day, and then of course the rain coming in on Saturday. Those are the primary topics I think here in this forecast. Just considering that that's just what I'm seeing, because this upcoming weekend does not look like anything substantial other than the rain, looking at some widespread shower activity moving in. Let's jump here on Tuesday morning. Wind chill factors in the single digits. Let's see here what Wednesday morning. All right, we got one of those scenarios here on this forecast model, and this is what I was going to bring up, is that Wednesday morning we could have a few clouds holding on across parts of the region where it could keep the wind chill in the above zero, whereas more clearer skies, wind chills could fall well below zero. So keep an eye on perhaps Wednesday morning to be the coldest morning here in the foreseeable future here of our 7-day forecast here coming up. All right, take one last look at our Facebook comments and questions. Go into tonight, tomorrow. We'll go back to the 7-day forecast and 14-day forecast, and then close things off here for our 19atSIX weather show. Tina says, good evening, Ethan. Good evening to you as well. Billy asks, when is the next noticeable snow threat? Depends on what you mean by that, Billy. I would say that any chance of accumulating snow, Tuesday. How much accumulations we're talking? Half an inch or less. If you're wanting to see a potential for more than 1 inch of snow, you got to look all the way out to the next 2 weeks towards the very, very end of the 14-day forecast to even see a question mark at that. I'm not seeing anything substantial over the tri-state area between now and then right now. Just given the pattern we're dealing with, we're looking at, we're kind of on that edge, that cusp of really cold air and then getting into some of that milder air, which we've seen the last couple of days break us into the mid-30s. And of course, we're looking at getting to the 40s on Friday and Saturday. Ricky asks about Ashley Smith. Ashley Smith is no longer with us at Fox 19. She has moved on to another opportunity. Still friends with her, still talk with her frequently, and she's enjoying her new opportunity. So you can check out her Facebook page for updates on what she's got going on recently. Stephanie says, I hate the rain. I think that's rain icons. I'm assuming it's rain icons, Stephanie. If it's snow icons, then a lot of folks probably agree with you, but if it's rain icons, some people might not like that. Iris says, I do believe we've been well overdue with a lot of snowfall. Wouldn't you agree? I don't disagree with that. The last couple of winters have been kind of, how do I put this? Boring. There hasn't been as much snow as I like to see. But yeah, when it comes to snowfall in this region, you're going to have events where you get a good dumping of snow. And I know some folks around here may hate that, but that's just kind of the reality. I haven't had a chance to go through the data as much as I'd like to because we got a lot of projects going on behind the scenes. But I remember back in high school, it was 2013. I remember there being, I want to say in Hillsboro, it was like 15 inches of snow. So like the snow we had on Sunday, Monday is not unprecedented by any stretch. So it's just one of those things you don't see it as often. So, yeah, I would say we've been overdue for it. That's a good way of putting that, Iris. And Iris said you guys really got it right last week. Thank you. All the credit goes to Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer. I was looking at data, and he and I were discussing things, and he brought up a lot of good reasons to bump up the numbers a little bit more, because some people were a little gun shy with what models were showing and everything else, but looking at the dynamics of the situation, everything else, Steve was like, I think we got to do this. This could be big. And so we pulled the trigger with what ultimately the chief wanted to do, and he was absolutely right. And that's why I really appreciate having him as a leader here at Fox 19. Darla says, hello, Ethan. Hope you had a great day. Thank you. You as well. All right. Amber asks about Frank going to the 10 o'clock news. I've seen him on recently and was just curious. Well, no, Steve is actually on a little staycation. He's still here around town, but he's booked a lot of vacation days, and the man does not ever take a vacation. So he's been kind of like tinkering on the idea of, I can do some projects at home, whatnot. So he's doing that, spending time with his dogs and his wife. And so with that, our schedules are kind of shifted around a little bit. So last week, Frank was filling in for Steve. And I believe this week, you'll see meteorologist Catherine Bodak filling in for Steve, and Frank will be back on the morning show. So I know a lot of folks were missing him on the morning show. But so Frank will be back this week on the morning show. Catherine will be in for the afternoon and evening shows for Chief Meteorologist Steve Horsemeyer. And you'll see meteorologist Jeff Creighton for the midday and early afternoon, both Monday and Tuesday. And I'll be back in doing that role on Wednesday. All right, Cindy asked a good question. Cindy asks about snow rollers. Well, I actually bring this up. If you ever checked the Fox 19 bios about us, on my biography on there, I mentioned snow rollers. That was one of the first things I remember that really triggered a passion to love science and weather. And I wish I could make a good explainer, graphic explainer, but again, time is limited to do a lot of different things here. But what you need is there are two things you could have snow rollers with: gravity or wind. Generally, wind is where you see more of them at, but you can have them with gravity too. So what you need to have is you need to have snowfall, so you have a good coating of snow on the surface. Then you need to have a little bit of partial melting on the top layer. And then it needs to freeze. It needs to be just right. It needs to be a thin enough layer. You don't need to see it to be too thick, because if it's too thick, it won't be able to curl. So you need to have a good pack of snow, a little bit fluffy towards the top, melt the very top layer of the surface just from daytime heating from the sun, or temperatures getting just above freezing and then falling back below freezing. And then you need something to move that top layer. Wind is what I remember seeing, because it was on a flat yard at my grandma's, but you can also see it on a hill. So what's going to happen is that if that wind or gravity on the hill pushes that top layer where it's kind of a little thin layer of ice, kind of like a baking sheet, if you will, and it's going to begin to curl. You ever have a baking sheet with putting something in the middle and you don't put anything around the edges, and that baking sheet starts to curl a little bit? Not the same principle, but same idea of you'll see that top layer begin to curl back, and then it'll curl and then roll to a snow roller. Hopefully that made sense. I don't have a graphic or visual representation, so for those visual learners out there, I apologize. Amber says, I love you all. It's nice seeing Jeff again. It's awesome. I like working with Jeff. He taught me whenever I came here at Fox 19, and I got to work with him a little bit when I was an intern here back in 2016. But yeah. All right, people are asking how much snow we're going to get, how much snow we're going to get. There's a lot of questions like that. So we'll just dive into that really quick. Not much. I'll just say that. I hit the wrong graphic again. Hold on. This computer froze up on me and I clicked on the wrong thing. Here we go. So between now through Tuesday, we're not looking at very much. Again, apologies here, the computer's running a little slow. So this is all the way until Wednesday morning. Amounts are not really impressive. And this is for Tuesday's light snow showers for the midday and afternoon. We could see up to about a half an inch of snow Tuesday, midday, afternoon, and evening. So we're not looking at a lot of snow. So we are not talking about any first alert weather days. There are no first alert weather days. There are no major snowstorms in this forecast. Really want to push that out there. We're seeing a lot of comments, people asking about that. Rest assured, we're not talking about that. We are talking about, though, colder conditions. So roads that are still not fully treated, I apologize. Some back roads, side streets, it's hard for some of those road crews to get to. But it's not going to be good for those roads if they haven't been cleared yet to not get icy, because temperatures like this are going to be really cold for the salt treatment to work very effectively, especially Tuesday into Wednesday. But Monday, we got a few morning flurries. After tonight's maybe drizzle, it won't do much of anything, but you'll just notice it if you're traveling overnight tonight. Monday morning, a few flurries, a high of only 28. Tuesday, a few light snow showers in the afternoon. Again, less than a half an inch of snow. Wednesday, very cold, morning low of 1, afternoon high of 21. And then we're getting warmer heading towards the end of the week into the weekend. 41 Saturday, scattered rain showers. And then we go into Sunday, light snow showers. And I want to emphasize that because people have been talking a lot on social media. I'm here to kind of put out the flames. I'm not going to fan them. I'm going to try to knock it out because it does not look that impressive right now. It's going to be mainly a rain event for us next weekend with some colder air on the backside, which will bring us perhaps some gusty winds and maybe some light snow showers. And the model data is not really bullish on any amount of heavy snow anywhere near the tri-state. So rest assured, don't get worried right now about next weekend. Now, if there's a trend of showing that otherwise, I'll let you know on social media. I'll let you know here on Fox 19. But until then, take a deep breath. Let's relax. The majority of the week ahead is dry. Cold, but dry. So let's relax. We got to get back in the groove of things, going back to work, back to school after what's been a kind of a wild week here. So, yeah, that is the 7-day forecast. Okay, let's take one last look at my Facebook page. I haven't even checked it yet. And let's see if it's even showing anything. Nope. All right. Okay, at this point, we're going to go ahead and hop off of here. So, takeaways here on this 7-day forecast. Tonight, maybe a little bit of freezing drizzle, flurry mix. Not going to cause any impacts on the roadways. I don't see any issues with that. A few flurries in the morning. Otherwise, it's just going to be mostly cloudy and colder into the 20s. Tuesday, a few light snow showers in the afternoon. It's going to be a pretty scene for a little bit, but it's not going to blanket a bunch of stuff. It's going to be less than an inch of snow accumulations. In fact, most places less than a half an inch. Again, that's Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we're dry. Very cold Wednesday. In fact, Wednesday morning, there's a potential for cold weather advisories, meaning wind chill values could fall below 10 below in a few spots. So let's keep an eye on that day. Looking really cold. Thursday and Friday, we are warming up, getting from the mid-30s on Thursday to the low 40s on Friday. And then next weekend, looking at just rain on Saturday, and then maybe a few light snow showers on Sunday. As we fall back into colder conditions going into the week of MLK Day, which MLK Day right now looks dry and cold, but then towards the end of the following week, we do see a little bit of an unsettled pattern where we could deal with maybe a few flurries or light snow showers. But nothing major is apparent right now on our scopes for the time being. So that's going to do it for us here on this Sunday edition of our 19 at 6 weekend weather show. Hope you join us tonight at 10 o'clock for the latest on the news, sports, and of course weather headlines here at Fox 19. I got to work on some projects behind the scenes, so I got to hop off of here very soon. Otherwise, I'm going to fall behind on all those things. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. Have a wonderful Sunday evening.